El Streamio. We will do El Mikey Checo. And we'll get podcasting, boys.
That was loud.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Sorry.
What happened?
I was whistling. It was loud. I heard myself.
Sorry.
What happened?
Everybody sounds sexy. Sexy time. Yeah, yeah. The Super Best Friends reunited. A few days before Golden Mania. Going over the rehearsal as I defend my Golden Omniverse title. Yo, what it do, GG Nation, GG Legion. It's your fella again, Straussman the GG. Welcome to another spoiler cast, the first spoiler cast of the year. It only took us till the end of March to get to it. But
Last day, baby.
we're gonna do Horizon Forbidden West. We're gonna jump right into spoilers. So be warned, the game's been out for a while. I just want to say this was an effing excellent experience overall. Horizon was very much an excellent game this year. We'll break it down. We're going to break it down. I'll introduce everybody. Our next one will be Tiny Tina. And I played the most amazing story mission yesterday that really reminded me of a couple friends. Wink, wink to Lou. Wink, wink to Lou. So that will be our next one. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for Tiny Tina. We're going to be doing that one next. I've been doing a lot of the side quests, and the boys were right. Like, the side quests, holy shit, they are... Some of the side quests are a whole giant effing map. Like, it's a long... It takes a while, but... Enough of that. Let's introduce this beautiful hunk of a man. My cousin, the White Assassin, JJ. We nabbed him. We kidnapped him. We beat him up. And we got him, boys. We got him. How you doing,
Yeah.
JJ?
I'm doing pretty good. Not a whole lot's changed in my world, but doing pretty good.
It's an exciting time. Exciting time for
It's snowing right now.
Really?
Detroit
Yeah, it's
sports.
fucking
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, in April, man. Tigers game was snowing last year. Opening day. That's gonna be funny. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Skip to my Lou himself. How you doing, Lou? Thanks for joining the spoiler cast
Nice.
today.
Good to be back. Good to see y'all again.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. I've been itching to talk about this one for a long time. I put 80 hours to platinum this game, and I didn't even do everything. I didn't even do all the side quests or errands. I didn't finish them all. I was having a lot of fun collecting the legendary weapons and stuff, but I want to get the read of the room. How did everyone feel of their overall experience of Horizon Forbidden West? Let's start with JJ. What'd you think of the game? What was the overall experience like for you?
I loved it. I probably loved it more than the first one. I thought they did a great job building on the story, and quests seemed more relevant and planned out and stuff. So I loved the game. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. What about you, Lou? What was your overall thoughts of Horizon since you got that double platy? So you must have liked it.
Yeah, I thought the game was phenomenal. I thought the journey was good. I liked the story. In my PS5 playthrough, I did all the side quests. I didn't do all the errands, but I did all the side quests.
There was a lot.
And
Holy moly.
huh?
There was a lot,
Yeah.
dude. There was
Yeah.
there was a lot.
There's a lot going on. Yes.
Even for me, who loves doing
Yeah.
that shit. There was I'm like, damn.
So my goal was to actually do everything.
Yeah.
But then there were certain things that I was not in love with. Some of the things, we'll get to, like the minigame stuff. But I was going to do everything. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do all the side quests. I'm going to do a few errands here and there. But overall, I really loved it. There was a couple of things, couple of side quests that I was not a big fan of.
Yeah.
So of course, it had its moments. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a very good game, like a very good number 2. So,
Did you just compare this game to shit?
Huh?
You said a really good number 2. I know what you meant though, but
yeah. Well, I meant that in terms of the number 2 in the series.
I know what you
obviously.
meant. It's just funny. It's just how it came out.
That's how I took it too.
Yeah. Like
It's like
this is
really
just like a
good-
really good shit. You know?
I think y'all read too much into it.
You said
Yeah, you're right. Oh man, you guys hit the nail on the head, man. This was just such an excellent game. A great way to really start out the year. Technically, Sony, started the year out with the Uncharted remasters of 4 and Lost Legacy at the end of January. But this was the real first, I would say, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. This is the first real big blockbuster of this year. It was Horizon Forbidden West, and it was an excellent journey. I would say it's a significant improvement in almost every single facet. Story, combat, side quests, game mechanics. The only thing that there's some story lulls to it, and we'll get to it. And I think there's the only real kind of issue I really had, and it really wasn't a big deal, was that there was a lot of technical problems I had on my end. I had a lot of shit happen, and we'll talk about it later, but it didn't stop me from playing. I just really enjoyed the experience overall. Like I said, I put 80 hours pretty quick in this game, and I was like, damn, this game it keeps going. It's really, really good. And they drastically improved so much, so many aspects of the game. The combat, side quests, the companions have more significant improvement in dialogue, like your team, your crew that you get in there. There was a bunch of new mini games and side activities, but were they all great? Kind of with not really. Kind of did them for the trophies, obviously, because it's not very hard plat. But the one thing I want to talk about is, man, there was a lot of really cool new machines in this game. So many new enemy. The enemy variety was insane. There's so many cool ones. The Slitherfangs, the giant bats. I mean, there was almost every animal, you name it, was in this game, and it was excellent. It was really, really fun. Obviously, the raptor that everybody loves. The raptor that you could ride, the Claw Strider, I think it's called. And then the one thing I told Lou in the beginning of the game. Is I hope that there's a flying mount in this game. It would be so cool, and there was a fucking flying mount at the. You get it right at the end, and but it was excellent. It was really cool. Sunstrider or something, I think it was called. It was really cool. The
Sunwing.
What was
Sunwing, I think. The Sunwing.
Sunwing.
Yeah.
Excellent. Really fun. You guys got anything else you want to say about the combat and the side quests? I think we should talk about side quests. What were some of you guys' favorite new machines? Do you guys have a new favorite?
I like the big Brachiosaurus looking motherfucker in the water, the Loch Ness monster looking one.
Oh yeah, that was a cool one. The underwater was actually really good in this game.
It wasn't bad, man.
It was not clunky at all.
No, I enjoyed it once you're able to breathe under there. Then it made it a lot more fun.
That was, curiosity. There's a saying, curiosity kills the cat. And that first area I really explored. That first top right area, I was exploring. And I got into that cave where you could swim through. And I'm like, oh, I can make it. I could breathe that much. I can make it. And I ended up dying. I'm like, all right, I got to come back here, obviously, when I get something else.
Did the same thing.
And
I even talked to Elo, and I'm like, Elo, no spoilers, but there's something to make you breathe longer, right, buddy?
Yeah, there's a... Shout out to Derek. What up, brother? Love you, man. What about you, Lou? What was some of your new favorite things about Horizon?
So, the combat, for one, I don't think it was as good. Going back and playing the PS4 version. And the reason why I say this in particular is I think for one, the weapons were a little weak this time around compared
Yeah.
to one. I feel like we got much better bows and arrows. Like, much better. They had better stats. They had different types of elements, not just, the ability to poison and then just a regular arrow. I felt like they were a little bit better. I feel the combat is a little almost the same. It's better to stealth in that game, but you don't get everything. But luckily in this game, you don't need. Like if I need to break out a horn or whatever, I actually have to do it in combat. I don't get some of those items if I would have stealth and kill.
Yes.
So
you actually have to knock off the item. There is a way though you can turn that off. This game's very what's it called?
Accessible.
Accessible, yeah. Like you can turn. There's so many options you could do. Um, so many things you could do. You could actually do it where you automatically get the legendary items when you kill. You don't actually. You just can kill enemy. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of it a little bit because to me that was a really
yeah,
fun
that's what I was
challenge.
gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a really fun challenge knocking something like, especially the hippo. That the hippo tusks were pain in the butt, like a real pain in the butt. Combat, I want to specifically mention. I forgot was Lou makes a lot of great points because we were still talking about arrow and stuff. I want to talk about like the actual melee combat because that was significantly improved from the first game, and it felt really smooth. Her combos that she can learn and stuff. It was very fun to learn, and I thought that was a huge step up. Like, how did you feel about that, JJ?
Once you learn how to do a few of them together, it got a little repetitive because you'll tend to rely on certain things. But I really enjoyed the combos, especially when you go to the remote or the combat trainer or whatever melee thing.
Yeah,
It
yeah, I
kind
know
of
what you're
teaches
talking
you
about.
how to string shit together. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a lot about the first game's combat. I haven't played it in so long,
That's a
so
good effing
It-
point. But it was,
it,
it was like if you go back, you couldn't do a lot of the stuff that you could do in this one.
but to Lou's point about the stats and stuff, yeah, it was tough to find a mixture of weapons that you didn't want too much ice stuff or too much
Fire,
poison
or acid, yeah.
and I tended to my best weapons tended to all be the same types, and it made it harder sometimes.
Yeah.
So you had to sometimes you have to take lesser things to be able to do certain damages.
Good points, good points. Let's talk about, before we dive into the story, because I know that's what everybody wants to talk about. Aloy's dead. I spoiled that. Aloy just dies. It's over. Game over.
And everybody stopped watching.
Yeah, Finn.
You put 80 hours into a 20-minute game?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the side quests because Lou brought up a good point when we were playing the game in our PlayStation party. Man, the side quests were really improved in this game quite a bit. I mean, they got pretty lengthy though. Like I'm like, damn. Like so, they went from 5-10 minute fetch quest, normal stuff to like a 30 minute to an hour to 2 hour quest. Side quests for some of these things, and I felt that the rewards were really good because a lot of them led to legendary weapons. Those were fantastic quests overall / errands, whatever you want. Like I don't really know the difference between the two. Like they were all side quests to me. It seems like, but the characters were pretty good. They had a lot of really good depth and dialogue. Unfortunately, I can't name any of them. I can only name like the main characters from the main story that I typed down here, but because it's been such a while since I've played it, and I'm gonna replay it again. I didn't want to replay it right away again because I want to replay it right after if God of War comes out this year. I want to replay the PS4 one right and see if it holds up to what I was feeling about it, because I think it's the second best game this year right at this point. For right now, unless God of War and unless Forspoken or something else, is excellent. But I was very much impressed with the side quests in this game. There was so many unique characters and weapons that were attached to them. And great stories that were involved. At least that's how I felt. Like, how did you feel, Lou?
Yeah, I liked that they actually went in depth in the side quest here. So, and there was more meaning in the side quest. Like, he wasn't just doing it to kill time.
Yeah.
He was doing it because it was part of a story outside of your own little world.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was very good that they did that. I thought that's what made the game too, because you can make a game and have the main story be the big adventure, but going on these little side quests and learning from different people and learning their journey and what their troubles are.
See,
you get the world building is much better in this game than I remember in 1. I wish they did a remaster of 1, so I could. Because there were certain characters that we talked about that were there that I don't remember.
There's a lot of returning faces that come back, like Talana and stuff, and I wish they remastered 1 because I wish I remembered some of these characters in 2, because you see them again, like, oh yeah, we went on, like, I don't, like, okay, I kind of remember, like, I remember your look and maybe your name, but I don't remember much. And I'm with you. I really wish, and the same thing for God of War. And unfortunately, it seems like they're not going to do that. Because I know they technically they did the PS5 upgrades already with Horizon and God of War. They did the 4K scaling but no new trophy to list and stuff like that. But I wish there was. Kind of like a director's cut, like we got for Ghost and Death Stranding, it make you dive back in again, because like JJ made a great point. Like, it's been effing long. Like, he didn't even remember. Like, I do distinctly remember, like, the combat. I knew that like right away when I first played. I'm like, damn, like the melee combat took they clearly spent some time on the melee combat on this one, whether you used it or not. And I agree with Lou. Like, side quests can sometimes make or break the game, and it really helps the world building and stuff like that. There's so many interesting stories in this game. But what about you, JJ? Did you partake in side quests? Like, how'd you feel?
I did most of them. Because, I mean, the only you guys, I think the side quests in the first game were important, because if you did enough of them, they joined you at the end, right?
Yes, you had to get them to all align with you. Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I did all the side quests in this game. I thought if I did them all, helping me at the end.
Yeah.
Which isn't the case in this one, but that I
probably will be for the next one.
But the world building is great. You do I like the one where the guy's trying to make the fireworks and shit.
Yeah, that was a great one. That was a good one.
That one was probably one of my favorite. And the ability to change those things was pretty neat. I like a lot of the side quests, with collectibles and stuff. So just, trying to figure out what happened to everyone and why shit went down. I enjoyed it.
That was a great point you made, though. Like, in the first game, that's probably why they changed that. It's probably because a lot of people didn't want to do all the optional quests to get everybody to join them, instead of making those main story quests.
I thought it was unique.
Yeah.
To have, I go help this person out, they're going to help me out. They're going to remember it at the end. If I don't, just have one less friend. I mean, it's kind of like, didn't it? Something like that too, right?
You said Mass Effect?
No, Bug Snacks. Didn't that do something similar? Like, if you didn't feed them too much, they live longer.
Yes, that is true. There is another game that reminds me of both of you, though. You two specifically.
Oh yeah.
Out of all the games you could have mentioned, you mentioned Bug Snacks.
But he's right.
I didn't play Mass Effect.
But he's right. He's JJ is right. You needed to if you didn't do all the side quests in Bug Snacks, certain bad things happen, with the characters. So he made a outstanding point.
It's an
But
okay game.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think they changed that though, because I bet a lot of people complained about that. I guarantee in the first game, I bet a lot of people complained that like, no, this should be like a main quest thing, and that was kind of the central story of this game was Aloy. I said I don't even know what I said, but Aloy.
Tina.
Aloy kind of learning to trust her teammates, and the squad mates were a big focus of the group and the story of this game. It was pretty much the main storyline from the get-go. So let's dive into the story. If anybody, if you guys are ready to go, was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Combat-wise, side quests, companions, yada yada yada.
No.
Can we talk about hair mechanics? Because no one figured that out yet.
It must be a really challenging thing, man.
It must be the hardest thing to do in video games.
It's so hard to make hair look real, but for the most part, I thought she looked pretty good, Aloy.
That's the biggest
Even
problem.
her beard looked good.
Women have hair on their face, dude. Come on.
What did you say?
I said
Even her
beard looked
Even
good.
her beard.
Yeah, it did, man. The peach fuzz. Go ahead, JJ. What were you saying?
Your testosterone. Come on, man. No, I was just saying that the hair physics has got to be the toughest thing.
Yeah.
And
You made a lot of good points. There was one time the opening mission with is it Ted Favreau where he's like double middle finger, like whoever. She sits down and she's like, and like the hair is going through her hands and stuff, and then when she pops up, it like kind of like goes all over the place. It doesn't look natural. It looks a little weird. But for the most part, I thought they had that under control for a lot of the game.
I didn't notice though. I didn't notice that at some points where she was literally like still and the hair was moving for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if they wanted to add the wind element, but it was
Yeah.
just moving a little bit like somebody was like twirling or playing with it. So
Have a
I
fan
was
on
like,
her.
but yeah, it caught my OCD there
Yeah.
a little bit.
It's a good, like, it's a valid point what JJ mentioned, though, man. I'm sure
It's
it's
not-
difficult. Like, the Forspoken chick, like the chick in real life, beautiful.
Mm.
You see her in the game, and the hair looks terrible. It looks bad. It looks so bad. Let's delay this game 6 months till October. Or I don't know. I'm sure it's tough, man. I'm sure it's tough. There's a funny experience, a funny story if I could talk about it. The NBA Live guys were here in Orlando at TraumaCon. It's a big convention for technology and shit like that. So shout out to the Honey Badger Chuck. We went like a few years ago, like 6 years ago, and they had the PlayStation guys there. They had Microsoft guys there. They had a bunch of video games there, but they also had the guys from NBA Live. And like the day before, they had the whole feature, the scanning process, like of how to actually put people's faces into the game. And it's a wall of cameras. So they had the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic like the day before come in. So we didn't see any of those guys. And who would want to see the Orlando Magic? Am I right? That was mean. That was a joke.
Orlando tragic.
I hope our one friend watches that. I think he'll like it. I think he'll like that one. But I had long hair at the time, and it had like blonde tips. I had blonde tips, and I had a beanie on, and the guy was like, "Let's just try this out. It's really hard to capture hair, so let's just try it out." So I sat down in the seat, and there's like almost like 100 cameras. It feels like and they just all flash, and it just I'm blind, you know. And it was a really cool process to see how they actually digitally put yourself in there. And it kind of captured the hair, but it's very, I'm assuming it just is a nightmare. That was a long time ago. I'm assuming it got a lot better, but obviously I don't know how far we are still when it comes to hair and stuff. I say a lot of the cell shaded games do a better job at that stuff. When you're going realistic, like even in WWE 2K and stuff, it's like it can look good, but it doesn't also look good. It kind of looks like it's stuck to you.
It's tough because, especially in those games, almost every person has long hair.
Yeah.
So you'll have Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, and their hair is like through their shoulder and shit.
Yeah, but it looks like it's glued there, like it's fucking glued on the shoulder, kind of like a toy or something.
Like an action figure, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a good point. All right, let's dive into the story. The story was, I would say, pretty damn good. I think it is an improvement of the first one. I think there is some story flaws for some things that we'll dive in here deeply into, but I just want to kind of just talk about our overall thoughts of what we thought and what we experienced of, Horizon Forbidden West. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed like the side characters. There's some issues to it a little bit. I do like kind of the big twist at the end that we'll dive into as well, but overall I thought it was a pretty exciting game. I do think it's an improvement over 1. I think 1 had a really good twist to it, and this twist is pretty comparable, if not maybe slightly better at the end for this game. But I thought they did a really good job with Aloy's character. I felt like she was a better character than the first game. And I like the fact that she is going to be a little bit... She might be a clone of Elizabeth Sobek, but she's not Elizabeth Sobek. She's kind of her own character. I saw a lot of people have problems with Aloy. We'll talk about that later. But just my overall thoughts about it, I thought it was a pretty fun story. Pretty excellent story. Some cool characters. I'm interested... What's up, Savage? How you doing, brother? I'm interested to see what... You guys think, JJ? What was your overall thoughts on the story?
I liked it. I thought it slogged a little bit sometimes, but then it ramped right back up.
Yeah.
But it depended on, how much. You guys play similarly to me, I think, where you get to an area and you try to do all the shit in the area. So I think if you kind of just beeline through the story, that wouldn't be a good criticism for it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I thought I really do like Aloy as a character. I think that they really built on some relationships they started in the first one and made them more meaningful in this one, where if something were to happen to one of them, you'd be bummed out. So I like the world building. I like, you said, the machines and her learning to trust people is like you said, it is the through line of this.
Open your damn heart, Aloy.
I enjoyed it. What?
Open your effing heart, Aloy. Open it.
Yeah. Just want to kiss you.
Yeah.
Now, I think one of the problems I had
you
with
just want to kiss
story,
yourself. You know where I'm going, yeah.
You guys,
go ahead, JJ. Sorry.
the story choices came and you had to make the 3 choices.
Yes.
Does that truly affect anything?
No, it's just whatever order you wanted to go.
So okay.
It was whatever order you want to go, and I really thought they did a good job on that, because I thought we were just going to tribe, but you actually had different things to do in each story mission. I thought it was pretty good. You saw different people and different faces, which is cool. That actually surprised me quite a bit.
All right. Yeah.
Go ahead, Lou. What did you think of the story?
I thought the story was very good. A lot of twists and turns. Is Silence the bad guy? Is he the good guy? Who are the Farzinids? Aloy learning to trust. Opening a base, basically, of operations. Gathering other extensions for Gaia. I forgot. I'm not getting the wording. What is it?
Sub.
What were they? Dimitri. Sub something, yeah.
Yeah, sub
that
something
was-
like yeah. But I know what you mean. The other pieces
Yeah,
of Gaia,
yeah, yeah. So,
the
I thought this
meter,
was
all of them.
So
I thought this was a very
Poseidon-
big story build for 3.
Yes,
Um,
that's a good point.
Yeah, because now she has to learn to depend on people. She's not going to be able to take out Nemesis on her own.
Whoa,
now she's
whoa,
gonna
whoa!
need-
I did not know Resident Evil was in this game.
I was going to say, she better call Jill.
Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead.
But she's going to have to depend on everyone if we're gonna make this work. So I thought this was a very good story building game for Aloy.
Yeah.
Where instead of it being Iron Woman, hear me roar, I could do everything. It was more of that, you know what, I could still do everything, but I'm not afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
So, and I need help. So, in certain areas. So, I thought it was very good.
Overall, I thought they did a pretty damn good job with that. Besides one character, and we'll talk about that because there's many new faces in this game, and we don't have to talk about all of them, but I'll just name some of them. You know, Chief Hikaru, Katalo, Regala, Tilda, Farzinis, the Beta, Zoe, Gaia, CEO, which is funny. Like that's his name is CEO. Like, come on.
Beta's a pussy. I'm just gonna put that out
He
there.
was. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, you look like, are you Ted Farrow, dude? Like, you look familiar, bro. Like, and I was actually kind of shocked he died. I was like, oh, okay. Like, good. And also disappointed we didn't get to see the real Ted Farrow disfigured monster creature boss fight. I wish there was more boss fights in this game. Damn. I wish there was more. Really wish there was more. But I'll start off, man. Like, I really liked Katalo and Chief Hikaru. I think those two dudes were awesome. They were badass. Katalo loses his arm right off the rip. And his side quest, and that's the thing, is if you don't do his side quests, you don't really get to see these characters develop. And I think that could be a issue for a lot of people, because I think most casuals kind of go through, just go through the story. And I think you'll miss a lot if you do that. I think if you don't go back and talk to your companions in the base, I think you miss out on a good chunk of the connection of these characters. I did it all the time. I checked in with Aaron, Varl, Zoe, Spider-Man, Kratos, Norman
Did y'all have to
Reedus.
drink with Aaron?
Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
The BB. I checked in with the BB. But I checked in with all, as much as my crew as I could. I go see Katalo, and it was fun to go see and explore their missions, because they didn't give it to you right away, man. You had to work for some of these side missions, and I thought they were really good, like Katalo's sense of honor and wanting to do it on his own, but be, a one-armed dude, like, let me, like, kill this giant saber-tooth thing, or what was, like, giant, like, bobcat, whatever, from the Frozen Wilds. Ended up being really cool. I think the arm ended up being a lot lackluster than I thought it was going to be. I thought the arm was going to look a lot cooler, but when he put it on, it was like, oh, it's like sticks and stones, bro. it took you that long? It took you that long to build that shit, bro? I thought we had some technology in here.
Arrow, you literally fight giant machines with bow and arrow and a bow staff.
You're right. You're fucking right.
What do you expect his arm to be?
Yeah. Well, when you get Tilda, in the base, you figure the technology and Silence, you figure technology would go up a little bit. Like we could build something a little bit better.
That guy, though, he's a strong fucker, because he climbed that mountain by himself with that one arm.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I was like, damn, you doing that with one arm?
I don't know who it was, but he must have had a mixed martial arts background, or a wrestling background, or a boxing background, because he had some cauliflower ear, and you could actually see it in the game.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I don't know who the actor was, but I liked it. He was one of my favorite characters, was Katalo. The game kind of tricks you a little bit. Like, Regala's kind of like the first half villain, sorta, I guess, really. Like, oh, bad.
Just kind of forgotten about, right?
Very
So-
forgettable overall, I would say, as a villain.
'Cause-
Go ahead.
Because you kind of do the main mission, like you do that mission where she makes her presence known,
Yes.
and then the Fall Zeniths come in, and you just kind of forget about her
Yeah.
until like the second to last mission. She's mentioned here and there when you talk to the chief.
Yep.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think she was more important to Silence than anyone.
Yeah.
He was her plan, where more of like to let people die. You just don't want a bunch of death on your hands, I guess.
Yeah.
Where that's why Regala, I feel like she never felt intimidating.
Yeah.
Because she's just a normal, like, I can ride machines too, bitch. Like, you're not doing anything special.
They build her up. Like, Chief Hikaru was like, she was my ace. She was my chief. And I picked a bad seed because, I don't remember exactly what it was, but she got pissed off about it or something. And then,
They fought each other, and he didn't kill her, is why she left. I don't know what they fought about.
Yeah.
I think not bringing one of them didn't want the tribes to be together, and
Yeah.
Hikaru was really pissed about it. He's trying to.
He also mentions that he regrets not killing her, and that's why I chose at the end to kill her.
I did too. That was the smarter route because there's no reason to leave her alive.
Yeah,
And plus, you get a
So-
wicked bow. You get a really cool bow for doing it too.
that's what I was gonna ask you. That none of y'all left her alive, because I wanted to know what would happen if you picked the heart choice.
When do you kill her?
You can choose to kill her or not at the end. You fight her in the arena. It's like the second to last mission.
And the 10th of the wings for the main mission.
Oh,
And
yeah,
yeah,
you can kill her. She ends up helping you out in the final battle,
if
Really?
and
If
then she dies.
she dies
she
though, so
dies.
it's pointless to keep her alive.
She died. She distracts a bunch of machines for you, and she dies.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they don't.
I meant
come
for
get
like
you.
the item, like the bow, like just kill her off right away
Doesn't
and get the
count.
bow because the bow is really good.
You
Doesn't
get something. You get something for not killing her, though. You
Yeah,
might
but
still get the bow. I'm not sure.
it's not the bow though.
No.
I looked it up before I did it, and I chose the better route, and it was.
You're such
Does
a-
her character arc
Play the
change,
game,
though?
buddy. It's kind of. She's still kind of a like for honor, but it's not necessarily with you. It's more of a
Yeah.
to you, and then she just kind of died. Like I guess she's inconsequential, I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but she ends up taking on like I don't know, 15, 30 machines or so. So, but I don't. But it was like a cutscene, so I don't know if it necessarily.
It didn't affect anything. Like when we played through it, it just kept going smooth.
Yeah, I still think you're pussy looking shit up. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, that bow was good.
I mean, I killed her and I got the bow. The bow was good.
The bow was
So,
really good. I killed it too.
I did just
I
fine
just-
without it.
I just, I felt like it was,
If
I
there
didn't
was no
kill
reason
her-
to keep her alive, in my personal opinion.
yeah,
She
there
did
was
too
no
much.
reason to.
Well, this guy's style to just kill people, though.
What happened? You broke up a little bit.
You don't. Aloy, I think. And I just killed her.
Yeah.
So that's how I played it. Is what would Aloy do?
A lot of my choices were the heart, but with her, she did too much.
I didn't pick the heart either, though. I think I picked like the brain or something like
I
it was
picked
smarter
the heart
to
for
have it
most
on
of
its side.
Aloy's choices. That was my
Oh, the top left one.
yeah. I picked mostly the heart until that where
Yeah.
I did kill her. I thought
I think
she,
I did. I didn't do heart like with Aaron's trying to show you affection. I'm like, no, man, back the hell off of me. I think I did brain with most of them.
heart with who? You keep breaking up,
I did-
unfortunately.
I think I did brain with most of them. Like
Yeah.
Aaron, I didn't. I didn't. Affection. I'm like, we're just friends, dog.
I don't know. I
With
think
Aaron-
Aaron's like probably the one she's gonna end up with. To be honest, man.
Yeah, Aaron is the one that I hope that she does end up with.
Shit,
Because-
this is Zoro.
I like Aaron a lot.
Aaron's probably. Yeah, he's probably out. Katara was my favorite character. There.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I want her to end up with either Aaron or Katala, or that dude, the Prince, from the beginning of the game.
Prince of Odd, yeah,
But-
Odd. That was his
Yeah.
only appearance too. His only appearance.
But
Eloy's
knowing this
on
game,
guys.
she's gonna end up with Ava.
No. She's on her own, dog.
Now I
Yeah.
think
You're projecting too much.
she's
You're
gonna
projecting
love
too much.
herself, guys.
You're both
Yeah.
projecting too much.
She's loving
She's-
Beta. She's
She's
gonna
a
love
lone
Beta.
wolf. Yeah. You can't love anybody else till you love yourself.
You gotta
That's true.
love yourself. You're gonna love Beta. That's why you locked Beta in the damn basement and you yelled at her every time.
Yeah, you were very. Taylor was very short. For those wondering, Beta was another clone of Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Far Zenith
So,
needed her.
Let's talk about it a little bit. Like the other big, there's several twists in this game. So you think Regala is going to be the big baddie? Silence is, giving them technology. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, oh, this is going to be the game. And then you all of a sudden discover floaty people, like the Far Zenith. Immediately I thought it was aliens. I was like, oh shit, like aliens, space people? I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is like, I was not expecting this shit. Like,
What
this
is this?
is,
Uncharted 1?
I'm like, holy shit! Like it just happens, kind of out of nowhere, and then you see another Aloy. You see Beta, and you find out. You dig deeper that they cloned Elizabeth Sobek, and they wanted to use her for something. I forgot exactly what it was. Do you guys remember what it was? They like to rebuild the world again or something. 'Cause
Well,
it
they
was-
wanted to take out the world. They needed an Elizabeth build to get Gaia.
Yes, there we go. Yeah. But
So they wanted to destroy Earth again and then rebuild it the way they wanted, but they needed an Elizabeth.
yeah, quote unquote, until you find out the other twist that actually wasn't really the plan. They were going to leave the planet again because what Lou mentioned, Stars himself, Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, is coming to the world. But a bigger threat is happening.
Did they ever explain? Maybe I missed it in one of the data points.
Mhm.
Nemesis, why Nemesis was going after the Far Zeniths.
They created it was pretty quick. It was kind of towards the end. I think Tilda talked about it, but it's pretty quick. The Far Zeniths created Nemesis to kind of be their Gaia,
Yep.
and and it kind of went wrong. They relied on it too much, and then it got too corrupt, and then it got pissed off that it wasn't kind of being. It was like they were trying to nuke it. They were trying to kill it, and it got pissed off that it was that you were trying to make something else again, and that's why Nemesis. And it became literally out of their control that they ruined their planet. They boarded their ship and they got out of here and tried to go back to this Earth. And then, like JJ mentioned, they were going to nuke it and rebuild their own Earth. But actually, that wasn't actually the plan. They were just going to use that as a distraction and then get the hell out of here. So Nemesis would just attack this planet and forget about them. But Aloy, obviously, at the end, we like a lot of several twists and turns. But I do want to talk about Beta a little bit. Like, how did you guys feel about Beta? Mini Aloy.
Pussy.
Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead.
Yeah, I felt like she was everything opposite of Aloy.
Yeah.
A pussy. Lacked. Just lacked a lot of social skills for one.
Yeah.
Confident. She was very smart, but in hindsight, she needed Aloy, and I think that's why she went that way and betrayed the Far Zeniths, was because Aloy was so much stronger and exactly like her. So yeah, I think she's a
Well,
pussy.
she saw what she could be if
Yeah.
she wasn't
Yeah.
just strapped into a fucking machine all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just literally seeing
shows,
shit.
it shows. I think it was trying to portray that the nature over nurture type of shit, where two people can be the exact same, but in different environments, they're going to be different.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too, and I think a big part of that story is missed actually. If you just, like I said, if you don't go back and talk to your companions, and Aloy treats Beta like shit the whole time. Every combo
Like
she
a
gets
beta.
she gets fed up with her and doesn't understand, like, yo, like, why are you this, like, lose angle, like, why are you just a puss? You're a stupid science bitch. And then
Well,
and then Beta, hold on, Beta was like, yo, girl, I look good too, but I've been tortured a lot and I don't have your skills, and I kind of jumped the gun because I thought you guys were farther along.
you guys are bitches.
Yeah. And
I think why Aloy is so short with her is because
they're both Elizabeth Sobek, quote unquote.
she's her, and so why isn't she like I am? Why isn't she doing the same things I am? And that's why I think she treated her like she
Garbo.
did,
But-
like a little beta bitch.
If you don't talk to her and you don't do any of that stuff, it goes really quick to, oh, you're my sister. And I think that could really, like, that was supposed to be like the ending line, like, yo, I'm gonna save my sister. I'm gonna save myself. And I think that's one of the weakest parts of this story, because if you don't hang out with Beta and get to know Beta, you do not know where Beta's really coming from. You know a little bit because Tilda does a deep enough dive a little bit, but I think you miss out a lot of that chunk. I think you really do, and I think that hurts Beta's character a little bit. But I think JJ really nailed the point. It is, you can have two clones, but if one is trained properly and the other one is in a different environment and tortured, you're not going to get the same outcome all the time.
All three,
Go
all
ahead.
three of them lacked social skills, by the way.
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Aloy, and Beta.
Aloy.
Which I don't even. Is that even her proper name? Like Beta is like, Beta is like.
That's what
the
they
Far
gave
Zenith
her.
are.
That's what they gave
Yeah.
her. That's her name, and that's what they kept calling her. That was a good point. I wonder if Aloy was actually going to give her a name or something, or she was going to name herself something at the
Yeah.
end. And that's a great point about the social skills, because Aloy couldn't trust people. That was her biggest problem, because the way she was treated in 1, she was like, fuck everybody. And then
Well,
2, she learns to kind of trust this time. Her social skills get a lot better. Beta, pretty much
They're all
scared,
very-
timid the whole time. And Elizabeth
They're all very
Sobek didn't
blunt.
want to talk to anybody. She wanted to be
they're all
alone.
very blunt with people. They're very forthcoming. They're not good at like subtlety. There's no subtlety in the way they speak. It's I want this. This is how this is done. You're a stupid science bitch. Everything. They're very blunt with each other.
I can imagine Lou in his clone. He just, what are you doing? You crying down here? You crying down here, pussy? You crying down here? I got a baseball bat.
Shoot the fucking ball.
Yeah. I don't know how you
Motherfucker don't know how to pass.
I don't know how you felt about, how you guys felt about it, but I do think the Beta story could fall short a little bit. How did you feel, JJ?
It was one of the best parts because it shows that I think she was the driving force in the Aloy. They needed each other. They taught each other. She was trying to teach Beta how to be more aggressive and more courageous, if you will, and and Beta's trying to, I don't know, maybe Beta didn't teach her anything. That's stupid science, bitch. But I do like the sister aspect. I do like that her feeling. Aloy's always kind of been protective of everyone, so it's just. But so I don't know how much Beta changed Aloy, because Aloy does. It does seem like even though she struggles with social, she does care deeply for her friends. Well, all of humanity, to be honest with you, she's trying to protect everyone. So
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the through line of the story. She learns to trust. It starts with Varl, and then Zoe and Aaron, and it keeps going.
I actually think Beta is very important to the story, because for one, it's another smart, trained individual that's just as smart as Aloy, and then you have the aspect of Aloy trying to adjust to Beta and what she went through, and going back to her past and trying to relearn how to communicate with people, and she sees the world differently because of what Beta went through. So I think it helps open up Aloy more to being more social. Having seen what Beta went through, and this same type clone, literally the same person, but went through a same experience and doesn't have the testicular fortitude. I don't think I said it right.
Testicular fortitude.
Word up pretty bad. Yeah. To get past whatever drama in her life. So, yeah, I think she really makes a big impact for Aloy going forward.
Well, and like you said, it is the big. I think it is the big part of the story where it shows they were. He's the same. You know, they're both outcasts. They're both treated. But what veered them off is the dude who raised. I can't remember his name. The dude who raised Aloy. Who it ended up being, you know, his version of love. You know what. And then you see that in almost every one of her actions. She is not speaking to people, but she's very compassionate, and she's willing. I mean, you do how many side quests? She's willing to help everyone. She's willing to go out of her way, even though you have to stop this big fucking Farzinus people. I'm going to go help this person find their fucking armor. You know, so she's a compassionate person that shows her
stones.
Yeah, and out of and where Beta's very, you can. Same voice actor and everything. Tell that they're different people. Like the way that Beta speaks is very matter of factly and quick and fast, and she's very like twitchy, very nervous and twitchy. And it comes through as like, well, they're two very different people.
Yeah, I think you guys make a lot of really good points. I still think if you're not paying, because that is a great moment you just mentioned about Ross, where she shows her Ross, but you can miss all that shit, and I bet a lot of people did. And I think that's a problem, because that's the final stretch of the story. Is what you guys just said. I think was Aloy and Beta and their relationship, but I feel like it could have been better a little bit. But if you do experience it, which we all did, we all clearly did it, you get the best bang for your buck. And it's the same thing with everybody else, because there is a lot of returning faces as well. You know, with Varl, Aaron, Talana, Nil, Silence, Avid, Avad, and Petra. You know that Lou and I called it from the beginning. I don't know if you did, JJ. But as soon as we started the game, we knew Varl was gonna die. we knew Varl was gonna die. The cliche of the first friend you meet, you hang out with him, he's really cool, and he's gonna.
He was awesome.
Yeah, I liked Varl a lot. I really liked him as a character. Him and Zoe's relationship was really good. And I think I do see that complaint from some. I didn't really look at many reviews or anything, but some critics were saying that Aloy was overshadowed by her companions, because they did really good with the side characters. Aaron, you know, Zoe, Varl. I don't know. Katalo, stuff like that. Like your main cast, And I'm missing Ava, right? Ava was in that for a little while too.
Ava.
Yeah, Ava.
Yeah.
She was pretty good. At first, I was like, "Oh, are you really kind of joining the team?" But you end up like, oh, "Okay, you got a purpose. I get where you're coming from, Ava." But the returning faces are really good. I want to talk about Talana a little bit because I thought she was gonna join. I thought Talana was gonna join, and she kind of has like the Monster Hunter gear and stuff. And she's part of the Hunters Guild in the first game. And you guys made a great point. I really wish they remastered so I could remember some of that shit. And I really liked her quest. It was fun helping her out. She gets an apprentice, and you help her out. If you do the side, you try to help her find the man she loves. He ends up like loving somebody else, and she gets burned, and then she says goodbye to you. Which was cool resolution. Like, you don't have to go back and say anything to her, but it's cool that they actually had that interaction. But I really liked Talana. I thought it was a pretty good side quest. Pretty fun side quest. But I really thought she was joining, because even when you come back after a certain, I think it's like the third or fourth mission you come back, and like, oh, your friend Talana was here. She just passed through. Like, if you go back and talk to everybody, I was like, that was kind of cool. I thought that was foreshadowing. Oh, I got to go help her again, and then she's going to join the team, and she ended up not joining the team. What did you think about that, Lou? Did you thought Talana was good?
Yeah, I thought she would join. She's one of the people though that I don't remember a lot of.
In the first game,
from the first game, I actually had to go back and look up her arc there and see what we did. So
something about the Hunters Guild. You helped her out with that, and her brother, I think, or something.
She was kind of ran the hunting camps, the hunting grounds that you do now. In this game, you were better in one of those.
Okay, but I thought that we would have more people than just the 4 or 5 people. But I think the next game we're gonna have more and more people at that base. It's gonna be like a well-oiled machine. So I think she will eventually join. I think this sets up more of like a Mass Effect 3 type thing.
Yeah.
Where like the Reapers are coming and we need everybody possible.
I mean,
well, now instead of the Reapers, it's Nemesis, and we need everybody possible to make this work. So, and we'll probably more likely survive.
I think that's a really good point. I think that's an excellent point that that it is kind of like Mass Effect 3. Like, we got this bigger threat. We're all going to team up eventually again, and I think we're going to have more characters in the third game.
Can we just have a side mission where we punch Cylons in the face just once? We don't have to kill him. I just want to punch him really hard.
Wow. He's actually one of my favorite characters, man. I really like Cylons in this game.
It's not about liking. He's always fucking with us, man. Yeah. Just fucking.
And I like that edge in the story because he's kind of like the anti-hero. He's not really on anybody's side. He's going to do what's best for him. And I definitely thought his ass was going in that spaceship. I really thought he was going to fly out of it. I thought he was. But I like the fact that he stayed. And he's like, you know what? You swayed me. I'm going to be here. And I like this character. I wish he was in the game more. He was more kind of like another looming threat in both games.
I think him being in the game more would have not ruined the game, but made it less impactful when he was in the game.
That's a good point.
He kind of has to. Anytime truly bananas for you, he was behind it.
Yeah.
Anytime anything was hidden or you got fucked over somehow, it was usually him.
Even killing Hades.
And I think that.
He
set
Hades free.
Like you said, that's good for his character, where he is he's always, you gotta keep him at arm's length, because you can't trust him. He will fuck you over.
Vengeance!
He will fuck you over for his, I don't know if he's vengeance.
The Knight.
I am the Knight.
And then sometimes he's Extreme Riddler!
It's definitely opposite than that, but I don't think he's that character going forward. I do think Aloy is gonna look at him more and be suspicious of him, but at any time he just left. He could just leave in the third game. So if he's staying, I think he's gained a lot of trust trust. So
And that's what he wants, Lou. You can't trust people. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
DTA. DTA.
Steve Goldberg.
All right, so another twist. Not only was the Far Zenith, I forgot the one. It was the twist of Tilda and Elizabeth Sobek being lovers, and then Tilda is not a clone or anything. She's the same Tilda like 1,000 years ago, with like these.
All from 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, all of them are. All of them are, and you know she's another. She's kind of like another Silence, right? She got a nice. She brings you to the mansion, shows you art and shit, tells you the big rundown, teams up with you for a little while, then turns her back again. She ends up being the final boss of the game, which I thought the boss fight was pretty good. I don't know how you guys felt. I thought it was pretty. I wish there was just more.
The only reason she turned her back on you is because you wouldn't leave with her. She wanted to. She
wanted you. Yes, yeah. She wanted you.
She wanted to kidnap me. That's what it was.
She didn't want to kidnap you. She wanted
Lou,
you
you would have went with her, you vile man.
And if I can't have you, no one
kidnap
can. If I can't have you, no one can.
And that's a good point. She only saw Elizabeth Sobek, not Aloy. She only saw her previous lover, which was a twist I think we all saw coming.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. And it ended up being kind of the end of the game. She ended up being the end, last boss fight. And then it kind of sets up the Nemesis arc. Let's talk a little bit of the ending when JJ gets back. Like, Lou, what'd you think of, that those twists and turns a little bit with Tilda kind of joining your side a little bit and then kind of just pulling a Silence?
Yeah, I like the twists and turns throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
That was one of them. Tilda as a character, I thought it added, the Far Zenith that kind of helps you out.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the stick in a lot of games with, like something that's overpowered like that someone will come and join you and help you.
Yeah.
So
it is kind of like a trope, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I just can't get over the fact that she tried to kidnap me.
You're hung up on the word kidnap.
I just want to date and love you forever.
If I
lost run away with.
Guys, just jump on my love rocket. Just get on the love rocket. Let's get out of here.
What was she gonna do with me if I lost that fight? Would she kept me alive and kept me in her basement?
I think she had every intention to kill you in that fight, to be honest. I don't know how you survived that fight.
It's also why it showed you why she was so. Hear the story about her and Elizabeth. It shows you why she was so nice to Beta.
Yeah.
It's like, why is she always, because at first you're like, why the fuck would she turn her back on? Why is she helping her out? And then you're like, oh, because she reminded me of Elizabeth.
Yeah. Beta, but she dumped Beta pretty quick. She had no intention of going back and getting Beta.
Because Beta's a stupid science bitch.
Yeah.
Ayla reminded her more of Elizabeth.
Also,
listen, Levi, why would you want the copy when you can have the best one, all right? You can have the best woman available.
Copy. Why would you have the beta copy when you can have the alpha clone?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Yeah.
This is why you guys are wrong. Because two beavers are better than one. Two beavers are better than one. They're so much fun.
Why does she
Ask anyone.
If it's so easy to clone, why don't we just all do it?
Yeah, right.
You can have your pick. This is Monday, Elizabeth. This is Tuesday. Saturday is my favorite.
I do want to talk about the ending a little bit, but I do want to point out, because when you defeat Tilda and they don't show her quote unquote dead, do you think she's dead? I feel like she's alive for some reason. Because they don't show an arm or do they show an arm? They might have showed an arm. Did they show an arm?
I don't remember.
I feel like she's alive because they didn't show her, die.
That's a rule in horror and video games, and
Like,
you don't
how do
see
you guys
the dead-
feel? Is
you don't see
you
the
think
dead
she's still
body.
around?
She could be.
Right.
I mean, I never thought about it that way.
Because
They always have that surprise reveal somewhere in a game.
yeah, they had that weird camera pan where she gets ejected, and it just looks. You look at it for a second, and it's like, okay, Aloy, back to Aloy ending game. And it's like you don't see an arm. I don't remember seeing an arm. And like, comment down below if you guys or gals saw that. But the setup for Nemesis in the bigger reveal, I thought was pretty damn excellent. I'm excited. I figured there would be a third game. I don't know. Like, is this it though? Is this it for Horizon? Is it going to be a trilogy and it's over? What do you guys think? What do you think of the ending first, and where's it going for you? Go ahead, JJ.
I thought they did a good job with Amy.
Yeah.
As long as you have a story to tell, you're going to continue to make games. It's whether is it going to keep making money. That's how you're going to keep making games. Is if it keeps making money. But where are they going to go? You know,
Yeah.
we've been to the West Coast. Are we going to Canada now? Are we going to go to Mexico? Like, what's up?
Yeah, there's a lot they could technically do still, but the Nemesis threat seems big, and that seems like a big finale boss. Like like God,
Yeah,
like a typical JRPG ending boss of fighting God. Like that's like gonna be the god of the game is Nemesis.
At some point, you don't need to make more of a series, right? Sometimes you was the quote from Batman: "You live long enough to see yourself be the villain,"
Mm.
and you don't want to. I don't know. Sometimes you just don't want to overstay your welcome.
Yeah, he's been saying that since 1947, though.
Why do you think we've had so many different Batman?
We got so many, man.
Yeah, you gotta keep evolving with the times.
Extreme.
I think 3 and out would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Open world has become the norm for video games, and 80 hours is. You want to get. That's why Tiny Tina's side quests and these side quests, it's giving you more bang for your buck, right? You're not paying $70 for 15 hours of, you're getting, and as long as the story's good and they're good at storytelling, people are going to play it.
Yeah.
I mean, people binge watch TV shows for 10 hours a day because as long as it's written well.
That's a good point of those games you made, but what is it too much fluff? Is there too much fat with those side quests? Do we got to trim it down a little bit?
They have, like I said, I think the first one and this one kind of had it where I didn't need all the side, like, go running and picking up people's armor for them and the salvage quests, I think they were. Those seemed unnecessary. But
you get a really cool armor set, by the way, if you do finish that one. But
that's what I'm saying.
It's a long
there
one.
are things, I guess, as long as it's not fluff, if the reward is good. If it's going to help you end game. I don't know. I enjoyed all the side quests in this one.
Yeah. I think that's...
Well, not all of them, but I'd say 90% of them I enjoyed.
No, you're right. I mean, there's some of it is fluff, but that's the interesting part. Is it almost a little too much? Like, do we need to trim a little bit down a little bit and make them? Because obviously there is a linear plot, and you could do it pretty quickly, probably like 20 hours.
Well, I'd like to see more. Well, not more. I'd like to see less open world games. Like, give me a game that's really solid and that I can play for 20 hours and be
Guardians of the
satisfied.
Galaxy. Bam.
Exactly. I don't think storytelling's done in games. It just, everyone feels like sometimes it can be overwhelming. A big map can be like, holy fuck, and then you get a bunch of little.
Yeah. When I first...
Like, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and you're like, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think a lot of games, obviously, they do this, and there's icons everywhere. It can get, like you said, it can get overwhelming. And I remember playing this game, and this beginning area is huge. And then I open the map up, I'm like, shit. you know. But the side quests, I will give them a lot of credit. They kind of really made me forget a lot about that because I was just enjoying the characters, enjoying the story. And if you can do that, I think that's where it's not fluff a little bit, because sometimes there's fluff, you know. Like,
how much fun can you make a fetch quest? Because that's most side quests are. I need help with this. Can you help me with this?
and they do it.
But how fun and interesting can you make it?
And they
Like
do
introducing new machines and new mechanics through it and stuff like that.
They do a good job with what you just said, like disguising that fetch quest, making me forget about that. I'm just going to A to B. Like, you're really doing a great storyline here and great, great mechanically, and you're not doing the same shit over and over. It's really, really good, and that's a lot of JRPGs could take a page out of that book, you know, big time, and they need to kind of go that route, and I think they're kind of exploring it a little bit, with like Tales of Arise and some Scarlet Nexus and stuff like that. The Bandai Namco stuff done a pretty good job. Lou, what'd you think of the ending and where it's going, and where do you want it to go? Do you want it to end in 3?
I think we're gonna fight Nemesis, and then that's gonna be it for a while. So I think 3 is the magic number, and then they put it on the shelf and they focus on new stuff, and then they'll bring it back like later on down the timeline, because it doesn't seem like there's anything other than Nemesis after that.
Yeah, he seems final.
Yeah, he seems like that's it. That he's the biggest threat to the world. So, and that's kind of where it's going, right? He's the biggest threat. Otherwise, he's going to destroy the world.
Until
he's going to destroy Earth. Huh?
Until Nemesis Beta squared.
An army of Elizabeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that that's where they're going to go with it. I don't know if they're going to do a new area. I think that we're going to go back to the first area, and then we're going to go to the Forbidden West, and then it's all going to get together, and then we're going to take on Nemesis. So that's what I think we're going to do in 3. As for the side quests, I mean, you don't have to do them if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in particular say it's a lot, but The Witcher is a shit ton, and people do all those. So it's it's really no importance to the game. It's just more of having fun in the world building. So maybe in 3 it will be. And 1 it was, right? Because you needed those people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think side quests should be, if you're going to have them in a game, because you should weave them into your story somehow. And I think this game does do that a little bit, where you can.
I agree with that. I do agree.
You
I
can
think they do a good job.
Still build on Aloy's past, or this character, getting to know more about this character, or a lot of the quests would lead to like you and Aaron fighting a boss, or you and Zoe doing something together. You're trying to build relationships with. A lot of the side quests I found is building relationships with the companions in your base. You're doing stuff to help them out to end up, and it strengthens your relationships, which in turn makes you care more about people, which makes it suck when Varl dies.
Yeah.
Whoa! Spoilers!
Other than those people,
I'm with you.
Those random people, like, does it really matter to the story?
Mm-hmm.
The only one I found the most entertaining was going down into a casino in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
And doing that shit. I mean, maybe those characters probably will pop up in the third game.
The balloon ride too. The balloon ride when it crashes. That's cool. Pretty cool.
Yep.
So I think a lot of those characters that side mission was memorable. So I think those characters will probably be in.
Well, Aloy has a lot of suitors, man. Almost every dude was like, "Hey yo,
every
girl.
Dude, every girl, every
dinosaur,
and every freaking." I also like that too. Did we touch on this? I don't remember in the first game, but in this game you could override every single machine.
You can in the other game too.
Okay, because it was fun to override one of those big ass dinosaurs and watch them destroy everything.
Mm-hmm.
This was it. It was a Spinosaurus, but I don't know what they called it in the game. But
I know what you're talking about. That yeah, that one's a biatch, man. But when you get to override them, you're like, yes, the power.
yeah. Were the bears in the Frozen Wild one?
Frozen Wild, yeah. Did you
Yes.
not play that?
No, I still haven't done that one.
Because they actually connected it really, really well. If you talk to Gaia, they do mention the Frozen Wilds, and I thought that was really well done. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. That's a really nice nod to that DLC. You know, so that DLC did matter. Like it did continue.
Right?
That's one of the things, though,
Yeah,
that if you don't talk to Gaia
you miss out
about
a
it,
lot too.
and yeah, you'll never notice that it was even in the game. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way it's going, and that's kind of the point that I was trying to make.
They want you to. It was important, like Levi said, at least 100 times. You have to go back and talk to people because it does
Yep.
help build that story.
I think that's kind of the detriment to this game too. Because I know, of course, the hardcore, you know, we're hardcore, will play. But I think a lot of people that are new, they kind of just want to go through the story and just play it, enjoy it, trade it in, get it something. I know a lot of people do that with Sony exclusives. They love them, but they're not going to spend 80 hours, you know. And I think you miss a lot of that. I think you miss a lot of it with Beta. You miss a lot with Varl and the companions. And Gaia, like you said, if you're not going back talking to Gaia, you miss out on Gaia. Like, I really liked that about this game. It was very intriguing to me. It was very well voice acted. Mocapped, and you know, Ashley Birch, you know, she does a great job as Aloy and Beta. I think she was both. I don't know, but I think she does a good job. I think they did a good job in almost every aspect of this game, besides like the technical problems, like I said. Let's talk about since we already talked about the ending of the game. Nemesis is coming. We talked improvements possibly in the third one. There's one thing I wish you could maybe have more flying mounts in the third game. You know, I want one of those giant storm birds to ride on, like surf
That
on.
was the big reveal, though, right? Was that she gained that power?
Beta
So I
gave
think,
it to her. Beta gave it to her.
yeah, I think going forward, it's going to be a big part of it
Yeah.
because you get the glider right away, and
Which
the
was
glider
cool.
was fun.
The glider was really fun.
It was a big Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I mean, it's a beautiful
Homage.
game. That's a great point that you just brought it up. I think they need to get rid of the climbing structure, like the waypoint. Just let me just climb on everything and just figure shit out. But I don't know if they're gonna do that. I don't know.
Climbing mechanics
They're not gonna-
tricky.
They're not going to do that. That would be nice, though.
It
That's
would be
probably
really
the-
nice because it takes a while. Because I'm like, where the fuck? I'm trying to go over.
Probably my biggest knock on the mechanics
Mhm.
is the climbing mechanic because, like you said, like you'll aim and try to jump to this point and it doesn't register, and
Yeah.
it doesn't, and it doesn't. And you're like- so then you got to try to find another way when it clearly like you do your focus and it shows you can go there. and
Go
you still
there.
can't.
Yep.
It's like fuck, man.
There's definitely some stuff to fix. Obviously, there was another patch yesterday that fixed like another 50 things. Rumors of DLC. I definitely want to point this out. I do definitely think this game, I can't wait to actually see it fully PS5, like the third one. Because I think the PS4 did, like, I know a lot of people were afraid of it, but I think it definitely hurt this game. I think it hurt Horizon a little bit. But obviously, it was the smarter choice because you got to capitalize. They knew they were not going to make enough PS5s. And you got to have this game on the PS4. And plus, you get that free PS5 upgrade. I think
And
the
the
last
PS4 version wasn't that good. It was good, like the story, but the technical shit and mechanics,
yeah,
like it was made to be a PlayStation 5 game.
yeah.
So
I wish they would have. I hope that doesn't happen with God of War. I haven't heard much about Gran Turismo, except for the PS5 version. A lot of people were upset with the online for a while. But there's definitely things they can improve on story-wise. A lot, like mechanical-wise. I do think the PS4 held this one back. I'm excited to replay it again if God of War comes out. Let's talk about the game. Is this a Game of the Year contender or pretender going forward? I mean, it's obviously effing early. It's the end of March. Like, wow. It's really early. A lot of things can change. God of War can come out. Breath of the Wild, Lou and I called it. Breath of the Wild 2 is getting pushed back. That's been confirmed. We still don't know what else is coming out. There's going to be a lot of Harry Potter could come out earlier and possibly be nominated. That game looks good. I don't know how the Gotham Knights is going to do. Like, I don't think Suicide Squad's this year. That's next year, right? God of War potentially could get pushed back. Sony's going to have another dominant year overall. But JJ, Game of the Year, contender or pretender?
According to your logic, this is a pretender. It's going to be nominated. It's going to finish second. So by that logic, it's a pretender. I don't think it wins. I think it's a great game, but just looking at the landscape right now, it is a pretender.
It's a real shame, man. Like it's a fucking excellent. This is such a good game.
But
like, it really is.
That's been the last probably 5-6 years where I don't know where you go into a year. You're like,
it
just seems clear cut.
One before you go, Lou. This this is also very eerily similar when it came out in 2017, because Breath of the Wild came out, and that's all everybody talked about. Not Persona 5, not Horizon. I forgot the other two. I think PUBG was nominated that year or something. It's like, what? Like there was a bunch of we don't really know the nominees. We're thinking ahead. You know, damn it, we beat the 76ers.
Hell yeah, we did. Without Marvin Bagley.
But
he got hurt.
It's tanking season, boys. But
fuck it. As long as you're still in the top 3.
It is definitely really interesting. You know, the lay of the land is yet to be foreseen. Like, what else is going to make it? Like, is God of War going to get pushed? We're going to talk about that in a second, because I do want to talk about that. Lou, pretender or contender? Or pretender or contender? Ooh.
It was a contender until 2 weeks later when Elden Ring came out.
A week later. It was a week later.
A week later?
Yeah.
It lasted, what, 6 days?
Yeah.
Until Elden Ring came out. And when Elden Ring came out, with that, what is it, 97 Metascore? Which a lot of people look at.
It actually dropped to a 96.
To what?
To a 96.
94?
96.
Well, I'll say this.
Let Lou finish. Let Lou finish really quick.
No, go ahead, JJ. Go ahead.
Saying it's one of those few games where bunch of hype. Like it was probably the second most hyped video game of my lifetime. And I haven't played it. I haven't watched anybody play it. Just from what everyone says. I know Levi's played it. I have a buddy at work who talks highly of it. It lived up to the hype. Like it actually, we're the most hyped game I've ever seen with Cyberpunk, and it didn't live up to the hype.
Very playable now, though. If you have Cyberpunk now, you bought it on sale, go play it. But you're right.
This game seemed to live up to what hype everyone put on it, and that's why I think it went. It won before it came out.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing with Cyberpunk. When Cyberpunk came out, everybody was holding a spot for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I even mentioned it on the pod here.
Yep.
We don't know what that game is going to be.
Yep.
You know, and it ended up being... It's probably a good game. I really haven't heard anybody talk about the story. I mean, we sit with someone every week, Rollo, who plays it.
Rollo, earmuffs.
So...
Sucks.
What?
It sucks.
He told Rollo earmuffs.
Yeah.
Earmuffs.
It sucks.
I thought you told me something. But yeah, he hasn't really expressed any true love to the story when we ask him. So
Rollo's... I love Rollo, but he's not an explainer. That's not his thing.
No, I know, but with a game like that, I would kind of want to know what I'm getting into, right? So you're gonna have to kind of get me hyped to want to go play it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we held a spot for them, and it didn't work out. And not to diss games like Elden Ring, but if you make a well sought out game, Souls game, it's going to be highly loved.
Mm-hmm.
So once Elden Ring came out, and it performed well, it played well, and everything that people kind of wanted, it was it's over. Like Elden Ring is gonna win it this year. Unless God of War really is like a fucking phenomenal game, this is really just a pretender to the field. It's a contender. It's gonna be up there.
It's gonna be a nominee. Absolutely, and I think it'll win some award. I hope it does. Like Ratchet and Clank was the highest rated game I think last year. 1-0.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. It needs to win something. Like you got to give it one thing.
And I'm not trying to. I just want to make this clear. I'm not trying to diss Elden Ring or any of the Souls type games because they are very good games. But they are one of the genre where there's a lot of, how can I put this well, hype around it, I guess you would say. And if it performs well and it acts well, people are gonna love it no matter what, just because of
the track record.
Track record, yeah. So,
to see where it comes from and where it is, and there was definitely a lot of hype. We were all like, everybody was hyped for Horizon, man. Yeah. That was the bomb diggity. It was we were so stoked. We were like, if this comes out last year, it's game of the year, and it probably is. It's probably hands down game of the year. But unfortunately,
but you gotta remember though, Horizon is video game market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was hyped for Elden Ring.
Yes, it was.
Xbox, PC, whatever.
Yes,
this is.
Yep. Quote unquote.
They sold 2 million copies in a week, right? Or 2 weeks?
Something like that, yeah, like 2 weeks. Quote unquote, like a lot of people on the outside saying there's Sony bias with Jeff Keighley's award show, and I don't believe in that. I think Sony makes incredible games. They win awards for a reason. They get nominated for Game of the Year for a reason. Unfortunately, Horizon, like it just came out the week, but thank God it actually came out the week before, because if this came out the week after, I don't think anybody talks about Horizon. At least they talk about it. Like at least it had its, it was gonna be prom queen. Then the foreign exchange student jumped in here. It
was gonna be prom queen even if Elden Ring didn't come out, just because of the simple fact that of God of War.
Mm-hmm.
If God of War comes out this year, that's probably going to be the prom queen.
I agree. I think it was going to get outshadowed by its own teammate.
Yeah,
in God of War.
So, it's Horizon. Every year, the 2 years that they came out, did they win Game of the Year in 2016?
No, it was 2017. Right? It was Breath of the Wild.
2017.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. And just comes out the wrong year.
Odyssey came out that year too, right?
I think that was 18.
Well, so I thought Breath of the Wild and Odyssey were nominated the same year.
It was. Oh no, you're talking about Super Mario Odyssey. Sorry, I thought you were thinking I was thinking Assassin's Creed Odyssey for some reason.
No.
No, you're right. Odyssey, same year as well. Yeah, yes, yeah. That was a huge year for. It was the first year of the Nintendo Switch, so it had Nintendo Switch hype and then Breath of the Wild hype. And then you could not criticize Breath of the Wild at all. I haven't really seen that with Elden Ring though. I think I've seen some fair criticism for Elden Ring, and it's justified. And we'll talk about that. We can't do a spoiler cast on that. I'm the only one that's playing that one. But we'll talk about we'll talk about it down the line for Game of the Year.
I'll host that one, okay?
Because there's
questions, and I'll just ask you questions.
You could, but I'm 100+ hours in, and I'm still didn't beat the main story. There's still so much to do.
My buddy just beat the main story. He said 120 hours, but he did
I'm doing everything too, and I'm on the hardest boss by far right now with Melania. She is a tough biatch. Like she is really the hardest boss in the game by far. But it's really a shame. I don't want to make it sound like when we say contender, pretender, I don't want to make it seem like Horizon effing sucks. No, it's an excellent game. If you have a PS5, you should be playing it. You should have bought this game day one. I hope Sony and Guerrilla, they should be very proud of what they did. They need to be a little bit better with the technical shit with this one because they dropped the ball on it. Where not Forbidden West, what was the other one? Zero Dawn was, man, excellente. And that's what Sony's known for, is they're excellent. But I think a lot of it was PS4. I hope they keep this game in people's minds with the expansion packs. Those are rumored to be coming out. Hopefully we get an announcement of that soon. My next segue with you guys is Lou hit it on the head with God of War. I think Horizon was going to be outshined by God of War this year as well. And it's just, we can only go on the lay of the land and what they're going to nominate. And again, we're not critics. I highly suggest you go play the games you love and enjoy. Not worry about Game of the Year. Don't put any emotional
don't worry
stake.
about awards.
Yeah, don't put any emotional. Don't put any emotional stake into it because it's whatever your Game of the Year is. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Enjoy what you love and what it is. If you love Barbie's horse riding adventure and that's your Game of the Year, then more power to you.
Mary-Kate and Ashley solving mysteries on the Nintendo DS.
The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody DS, you know? Like, if that's your jam, there's nothing wrong.
Bugsnax is your favorite game.
But it's looking like it's going to be another dominant year for Sony. Horizon Forbidden West. God of War Ragnarok, potentially. We got Gran Turismo 7, which brought Gran Turismo back. The game's excellent. Despite, I haven't played it online, so I know there was a big online controversy with that game.
We're going to beat your ass.
And then Forspoken is coming out. I do want to talk about you guys. Not you guys. Talk about God of War. Like, is it getting pushed back? Like, is it going to make it this year? What is your gut feeling right now, JJ? Do you feel like Ragnarok's going to make it? I hope we find out about it soon.
I think it's 2023. I think it'll be February 2023.
Okay.
February, March, somewhere in there.
Okay.
If it does get pushed back, JJ, what game is coming out for the winter time?
Well, I don't fucking know, man.
Like if you really think about it, because I'm thinking like God of War is
the winter one,
the winter game.
I'm guessing it's not going to be a popular, but I think it's the Last of Us remastered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if I had to
the multiplayer faction.
Yeah, if I had to guess, that would be. Can you go yell at Kevin?
It could be a lot of things. It's a good point. I just want to ask you about your gut feeling, because I know you loved the last one. We all did. We all loved the last one. What's making you lean towards it getting delayed? Just the quietness?
Well, yeah, just quiet. And you want it to be... I think we're in an age now where you can't be afraid to push something back. It has to be good from jump, Because if it's not good from jump, it will hurt sales. And then you'll have, where Cyberpunk sales went way down. It's a good game now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
a year and a half later, though, right?
What's the one where you went to the planets that were generated different?
I said the wrong one. It's not Starfield. It's
You have it. I don't know.
I do have it. It's God, I forgot what it's called.
But that game it didn't have any of the promises that they said they were going to have, and you release it like that, it turns people off. It's a great game now. It does everything it said it would do, but now.
No Man's Sky?
Yes. No Man's Sky.
And that happens with, you can't be afraid to, it's going to hurt people's feelings initially, but if you're putting out a great product from jump, you'll be forgiven.
Okay.
So, and like you said, I feel like it would add, no. If they have a big like E3 event or whatever, their showcase, it could get announced and it could, like Lou said, it could be November of this year.
Breaking news on GG and Friends here. E3 has been canceled this year.
I saw that earlier today.
So
yeah, that sucks.
So, which is, I don't want anyone to worry like, oh shit, they're gonna have a bunch of these game companies are gonna. Already been rumored Ubisoft's going to have a big presentation. Microsoft, of course, is going to have one. Nintendo will have their normal Direct probably. Sony might be a little bit after or a little bit before. But Lou, what do you think? What are you leaning towards of God of War? Is it going to make it this year?
Originally, I thought it would, but really just sitting here thinking about it and thinking about JJ's points and some of y'all's points here, I mean, you could push it back to February 2023 and have it count for next year and win Game of the Year next year.
But Breath of the Wild that year too. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun to see. God of War and Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
Here's my thing with Breath of the Wild though. Like we talked about it, and it just seems too far away.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't not seem like we even talked about it. They just showed screenshots and
they haven't shown shit really about it, like you said. Yeah.
I need to see. So if we're gonna see Breath of the Wild 2, I need to see
to be
some
fair,
gameplay.
we haven't really seen much of Ragnarok either. We just saw that one trailer. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but they showed some gameplay. They showed some stuff. Like it didn't go in depth, but we haven't even seen that with Breath of the Wild 2. We've just seen some screenshots, and I need to see more than that by, I would say, September. I would say by September. Otherwise, that's it.
Okay. Love you, Maxie. I'm leaning towards it's coming out. I think we're gonna have to see it soon, though. Like May, June-ish. Not direct or whatever. Sony.
Yeah.
Whatever. Showcase, whatever you want to call it. I forgot what.
I forgot what they call them. It's a direct, right? Or is that Nintendo?
No, that's Nintendo.
State of Play.
State of Play, yeah. Thank you. That's why Luke gets the big bucks. That's why he gets the big one. That's why he's going the Golden Mania to job for me. Be my jobber.
No, we got this one.
A second map, huh?
I'm leaning towards it is. JJ made a lot of great points. You can't be Sony. I don't think they've ever been afraid to push anything back. But usually they don't really have technical problems with their games. Their games are pretty flawless. So when they're ready to go, they're ready to go. Horizon got pushed back and still had a bunch of technical issues. And I still don't think that hurt the game really in reviews or anything. It was more.
What were the technical issues?
I had a bunch.
I didn't have any.
Huh?
Elo had one.
I didn't have any.
Elo had one for the PS4 version. Elo had one for the PS4 version in particular where that boss fight, in the laboratory.
Second boss fight,
yeah, he just doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
So the story doesn't proceed unless he moves and she says, "Oh, I have to shoot the rings."
Yeah.
So he literally had to wait a whole week for that patch.
I had a bunch of issues. I had a bunch of pop-in. I had a whole scene where where Aaron and I think it's Katalo and Aloy are climbing the mountain to get the beta signal, and the mountain's not even there. And then Aaron puts his hand, and then the mountain pops back in. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing. And it's something Sony's not really known for. Obviously, I'm not saying this is like a Days Gone situation or anything, because Days Gone was like the lowest reviewed Sony exclusive from their first party, and it had a shit ton of issues. Great game. JJ and I loved it that year, but it has like a 68 Metacritic score or something. It's much better than that, but there was a lot of fucking problems with that game. But this game had a lot of technical issues and freezing. I've heard for a lot of people, but I had a lot of pop-in. That was the one. I had a shit ton of pop-in. Mechanically, I've had mountains disappear and cutscenes. I had shit that fucked up in cutscenes where she would plug the thing in and it was supposed to show the tangles and stuff. It doesn't show it properly. It looks ugly. It looks bad. It's not done right. And I was kind of shocked because Guerrilla's an excellent studio. And again, I don't want to make it seem like they suck or anything. They clearly know how to make a really great open world experience. I don't think the critics actually hit them hard with that. I think it was more story. I don't think they liked Aloy as much.
It was probably very rare, though. Like you were
Yeah.
probably one of the few that got it,
Yeah.
and they probably didn't get it because there's also ones where you're doing side missions and the guy would just kind of run in place,
Yeah.
and it's like, yo, where you going?
Yeah.
Like,
I've
have
seen
seen
I've seen a
Aquaman.
lot. I've seen a lot, and it was funny. And again, it didn't hurt my experience with the game. To me, I
Yeah.
thought it was very fun, overall, and enjoyable. Like, you know, and again, it's not like Days Gone situation where anything like that. But it was pretty. There was a lot of technicals, so it was good to hear that you didn't have any problems. But I had a ton. I had a shit ton of issues, and again, didn't hamper the game for me. I thought the story was good and everything. I think it could be better though. I don't think it's. We've seen better Sony first party stories, but I think this was a great sequel in every way, almost every single facet. You know, combat, movement. Because the underwater, I thought the underwater was going to be clunky. Underwater was great. It was beautiful. This game looked great. when it ran.
underwater was beautiful.
Like when this
some
game
of-
ran, it was excellent. The flying felt really smooth to me. It always felt fun. I thought all the tall necks had interesting puzzles. This time, the underwater
It was
one,
nice to have puzzles for those.
the one with the trees too, the tall trees where you got to kind of, and there's like the stealthy predator ones. I forgot the panther looking ones, that stealth
The
ones.
stalker,
The stalker, yeah. So many cool moments in this
the
game.
monkey.
I do think there's some story lulls, though. I think that's what hampers this game. I think it should be rated better. I think it should be. I think it's like an 88 or 87 Metacritic score. I think it should be like a 90 at least. This game's a 9 out of 10 for me, for sure, easily. It's not a 10 out of 10 though. It's not that level. It's so close though. It is really close to that, and I think 3 probably will be that. This Nemesis battle. I got so many pictures in my head. The twists and turns in this game were really good that Lou mentioned. They were really excellent, well done. I really enjoyed this game, and I'm leaning towards God of War making it, but I don't know. It might get pushed out. If they're gonna fill anything out, Lou brought asked you what you think. There's rumors that Bloodborne Remaster is gonna surface. There's a lot of different stuff. There's Infamous supposedly in the works. And Sly Cooper. I'm not saying those games are huge compared to God of War. Obviously, you want God of War. And God of War is going to make money. Don't get me wrong. When God of War comes out, I don't think you're going to have to worry about Cyberpunk overhype or anything like that. I do feel like the critics are going to be really harsh on that game, though. Because the first one already won Game of the Year. It had a 95 Metacritic, and they bumped it down to a 94. It killed a 97 before. It slayed a 97 Red Dead Redemption 2. Can it do it again with Elden Ring? And I think it possibly can. I'm not willing to crown it already, but I don't make those choices. All I can speak of what I play with Elden Ring, and I fucking love it. I think it is better than Horizon. I think it is a better game, and it's the best Souls experience by a fuck ton, by miles. And I still think probably Bloodborne is my favorite, though. I want that remaster to be real so bad. Like, I want it to happen, but I'm having every day I've been playing that game, and I've been having discovering new things, but only time will tell. I want to thank the fellas. Oh, by the way, what was everyone's rating for it? Horizon. Out of 10. Go, JJ. Go, JJ. I went 9 out of 10.
I'm right there with you, like 8.5, 9.
Go ahead, Lou.
For me, it was a 10, but if you're gonna look at every little thing, it's about an 8. So
Okay.
I play games. I turn my brain off to enjoy the story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really let those little things bother me unless it's too much. Then it bothers me. So yeah.
Okay.
So it's a 10 for me. 8 if you really care about all that little shit.
My favorite Lou quote of all time. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a 10, but it's not a God of War 10. What the fuck does that mean? You gave it a 10.
He's got to adjust his scale.
What?
So God of War was like,
Well,
we've got to
that's-
go up to like 15.
Yeah, are we cranking it to 11? Is God of War
See,
11?
See, but that's why I had to adjust myself and say 10 and then an 8. Because for me, I take it as when I play a game,
Yeah.
I enjoy the story. And I'm not going to match it up to anything else. So for me, it's all that. It's a 10. I shut my
That's-
brain off. I play it. But if you care about all the other little things and how does it match up, all the little type of shit
Yeah.
that I really don't care about, then I'll give you that grade. So it's an 8 in that perspective. So it was because of that quote that I actually had to change my philosophy a little bit. So
Well, I really value you guys' opinions, but I really feel like 10's got to mean something. Like, it really's got to mean it. But there's nothing wrong with you giving it a 10. If it's a 10 out of 10 for you, absolutely.
yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
But for me,
But it
For
depends
me,
on
it's
y'all
not.
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on y'all skills because for me, I take everything like when I do it. It's like how fun is it for me?
Yeah.
Am I having a good time? I have my own little thing. But if we're gonna go by the objective scale or how you guys look at
Well,
things,
I think
then-
that's part of the fun, though, is comparing it to others. And the Game of the Year
Yeah.
is always fun. For me, it's fun. I know for a lot of others, it's a stressful, hellish nightmare, you Kingdom Hearts fans. I know it's stressful, it's a nightmare, you can't handle it. But for me,
Is this a pot shot at one person?
No. There's many Kingdom Hearts fans I know. But I know
you just took up the whole community like that, huh?
everybody has their own zen, and the thing is, I know a lot of people. They always ask me like, "Aren't you hurt that Persona didn't win it or whatever?" I'm like, "No, I love it for the game it is. It doesn't need an award." And another thing is, people got to understand, Jeff Keighley's not the only award show. There's like 1,000 fucking other shows. Like, it's good. Like, Horizon will win Game of the Year at some other websites and other shows and stuff. It's gonna do really well. I just
But he's
think
the biggest one though that people respect.
it is the Jeff
That's-
Keighley. It's like the
Yeah.
Oscars and of gaming and stuff. Because usually there's a lot of big announcements there and stuff like that. But I want to thank this beautiful hunk of a man, the White Assassin, my cousin JJ. The myth, the legend himself, Skip to my Lou. Thank you so much. Shout out to my boys Derek, Savage, everybody else. I know so many of you are gonna watch this later. Thumbs it up, smash the hell out of the like button. Comment down below. Is Horizon Game of the Year, contender or pretender? Tell us your thoughts about the game. Did we miss any important points? I think there's one thing I'm sorry, I apologize. There's one thing I forgot to mention and I thought it was really weird. Is
Bruh.
Sony handles pregnancy very weird. Zoe is pregnant, and then she immediately goes to battle with giant dinosaurs.
I found that very troublesome as well.
I found that very weird. They don't ever
I
talk
think
about
that's
it again.
hilarious.
They don't like. They'd be like, "All right, you stay over here. I got this." Or you're right. They never acknowledge it again. She'll be fine.
It's a sweet moment.
Early in her pregnancy.
Yeah, it's a sweet moment because you got to think months are going by, or days, or at least stuff are happening.
She had a fucking bump when you went to that battle.
Varl's death, like, unfortunately, I said we saw it coming. At least I did. I don't know if JJ did. Like, Lou and I did, and it was impactful to a point. But when she said she was pregnant, I'm like, oh damn, that means a lot. But then we're like, wait, we're going into fucking bad. They do the same thing with Last of Us Part 2, and it's just so fucking odd to me. Like, it's just very odd. But again, topic for another time. Tiny Tina will be the next spoiler cast. We're working on it right now. I've been your fellow Strassman, the GG. That's JJ. That's Lou. We're outie.
See ya.